A man who says a priest repeatedly molested him more than 20 years ago has filed a first-of-its-kind lawsuit today under a new state law. It is that law that allows survivors who are past the statute of limitations to sue their alleged abusers.
The suit names the Archdiocese of Denver, a parish in Fort Collins, and a defrocked priest. Kevin Vaughn from our 9 Wants to Know team joins us now. And Kevin, this is not the first time we have heard this former priest's name.
It's not, Kim. The former clergy member at the center of this story was in the news in the mid-2000s after being charged with molesting multiple children. The man who came forward today brings the number of his known accusers to 5.
This guy was a machine at manipulating kids.
Scott Verdi was about 14 in the late 1990s when he met Father Tim Evans.
I was an altar boy when he first came to our church.
That parish was St. Elizabeth Ann Seton in Fort Collins. There, Verdi now alleges that between 1999 and 2003, Evans molested him more than 100 times.
The alleged victim says Evans called him 3 years later.
If Evans' name sounds familiar, it's because in the mid-2000s he faced charges of molesting boys at a church in Arvada, as well as the one in Fort Collins.
We steadfastly maintain his innocence in this case.
Despite his attorney's assertion, juries in 2 counties convicted Evans of child sex assault, and a judge sentenced him to 14 years to life in prison. He was paroled in July 2020. Troubling questions about Evans' behavior had been raised as far back as the seminary, according to a groundbreaking investigation by the Colorado Attorney General.
Father Evans utilized fear to really control me. I've never been so scared of a person my entire life.
Verdi never reported what he says happened to him, something that's always bothered him.
It just allows me to write a regret that I always had as an adult.
Today, he became the first person in Colorado to sue the Catholic Church under the new law.
That I finally feel insulated for once. Like I don't feel alone. I don't feel like I have to take on this behemoth of the Catholic Church by myself.
A spokeswoman for the Archdiocese of Denver said the church has not been served with the suit and said she would not comment on pending litigation. To get paroled, Evans had to admit he molested those children back in the 90s. Verdi is seeking a minimum of $100,000.
Okay, and again, this is because of this new law. How does it fit with some of the other cases, this particular case?
The allegations this man makes about what was done to him, how he was groomed, the pattern of abuse, lines right up with the allegations made by those boys in the mid-2000s that led to criminal charges.
This new law generated because of events like this, that those have been maybe fallen to time?
Yes, it allows people today to go back as far as 1960 and file civil lawsuits against people they allege sexually molested them. The statute of limitations is normally just a few years on those kinds of things, and the window is open for that this year and the next 2 years. So January 1st of 2026, that law goes away. 3 years.
All right.
Well, we've seen, for a while there was just like so many, and it was high profile in the news, and then kind of things drifted away. So now maybe this is giving people an opportunity to move forward.
And his lawyer pointed out today something that we all know is that a lot of people who suffer sexual assault don't report it or don't report it for months or years or even in some cases decades.
Right.
What about the difference though between a criminal accusation and a civil accusation as far as what it'll take as far as evidence to get a jury to side one way or the other?
Well, you have a lower burden of proof in civil court, preponderance of evidence versus beyond a reasonable doubt. But it is, difficult in cases like this. It's not like an old murder case where there's DNA or something.
Right.
This is going to be about testimony and church records and what these other cases look like compared to this one.
Yeah, and a lot of memories. That's very difficult on the accuser in this case or the victim. That's very difficult. All right. Thank you, Kevin.